Good morning, everybody. This is Misty Moon, and today I'm going on live with my friend Jen Paco, and we're going to be talking about, I feel like, a very important conversation. I think probably the most important conversation, as we're all here on Instagram, as we're all using Facebook, as we're all using TikTok, and especially for us entrepreneurs that are growing a business online. You know, the majority of our time is spent on social media. And so the topic is regarding how addictive social media is and how it's designed. Hey, Lady Lala. Good morning, sister. And it's most importantly for us entrepreneurs who are growing our business online, because this is where we spend most of our time. So how do we create that balance? Hey, my girl Jen is in the house. Let's see here. All right, Jen, getting you in. Un momento. She's going to the portal.
Hey
And
there.
here.
Hi.
Hey, honey, good morning. How are you?
Good, good. How are you?
I'm great. Yeah.
Happy fall.
Happy fall. That's right. How sweet is
Yes.
that we're doing this on the fall?
Yeah, which is awesome.
And also,
Perfect time to let go of certain things, right?
yes, 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 yes. Yeah. And also today's my 21st day of my 21 day transformation. So today's
Oh,
last day of
sweet.
that. Yeah.
Nice. Good morning, strong angel. How you doing?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good correlation. Good timing there.
Yeah. And we didn't
Yeah.
plan it that way.
We didn't plan. Do we ever plan it? I mean, it just, stuff just happens in sync and it's all good. But yeah, we never plan it. It's all good.
I'm so into it.
Nice.
So Jen, I actually just started, I just watched a couple of clips because I hadn't watched it since last weekend, just to get
Hmm.
myself fired up about it. And this just like makes my blood boil. It's just like how,
Yeah.
so I gave the intro of what we're talking about, which is, how addictive social media is. And we're all victims to it, but especially us entrepreneurs who are building our practices online. It's like,
Yeah.
how do we create that balance,
That balance. So
Yeah.
important.
So what came up for
So
you?
important.
What came up for you when you watched this documentary?
Uh, so I mean, a lot of it was stuff that I already knew, but I think it
Okay.
reinforced more so how much of an influence and how much we're being tracked, or even the little things like you don't notice, like when one of the things when you're not using your phone, you're not on social media, it can give you a notification to draw you back in.
Yeah.
That was like a huge thing, kind of a wake up call, like, yeah, you know what? That does happen. Like the kid in the documentary, how he was just sucked back in. He had the phone away from him, and you hear a ding, and you're like compulsively need to check it. So it's little things like that. The other thing that really bothered me, I guess, was when they mentioned how women or these girls were actually going for surgery to look
Oh my
like app
God.
filters, and that
Yeah.
was like that
Yeah.
hit me hard, and we're all addicted to a certain extent, but yeah, we have to find that balance. Social media is not a bad thing. I mean, it's when they set out and they created these platforms, it was meant to be a very
Yeah.
positive thing.
Right.
And with the light comes the dark. So over
Yeah.
time, you get certain people coming in, or people see dollar signs, or even, the advertising platform. Well, it's not advertising, it's not bad, right?
Mhm.
There are components of it and pieces of it that are more in a negative light, where
Yeah.
you start using more manipulation without people being aware that they're being
Yeah.
manipulated. I think
Yeah.
that is the real
Yeah.
issue. It's not
Yeah.
that they're using it as an advertising platform, it's the manipulation
Yeah.
underneath it
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
certain cases. Yeah.
And
So it's
but but I feel like at the end of the day, like even with allopathic medicine, for an example, like
mhm.
it has its place, but at the end of the day, it's about the people, us individuals having to take accountability for our actions.
Yeah.
So it's like we
Yeah.
can choose like how we want to use social media. We can choose like how much pharmaceuticals we want to integrate into our life. we can choose how much processed food we want to integrate into our life. We all, love,
Yes.
chocolate
Yes.
cake, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's a matter of just like use it in moderation. So I feel like I just want to be clear. I think it's important that we don't just point fingers and blame the tech industry, because
Right.
they are, helping us evolve. I mean, because of technology, we're able to communicate faster, communicate with people from all over the world. But again, it comes down to us being accountable for our actions.
Yeah, you know what it is? It comes, and I always say this in like every single video, it comes down to awareness, our own awareness, because that was the big takeaway from the documentary too, is that most people aren't aware of what they're doing. We're not in the present moment. We're not grounded. So
Yeah,
we're just reacting to things, right? And we're pushing
right.
buttons, and we're
Yeah.
just, it's easy to manipulate our human mind when we're not present, right? So
Mhm.
I think it's educating people that to become aware of when they're being targeted or what's happening in social media and using it in a way where they can still go on and reap the benefits and get the benefits from it and network with their friends and meet people and use it for business and all these positive things, but
Mhm.
also, um, know when they're being sucked into that darker side of it, I
Yeah.
guess you could say. Because
Mhm.
with everything, there's a light and dark component
Yeah.
with
Absolutely.
everything, with business,
Duality.
with anything in life, right?
Yeah.
It's the balancing forces at work. So, it is about educating people and just this overall awareness of what's happening and how it's kind of grown and evolved over the years and not just being sucked into certain elements of it. It's
Mhm.
huge. Hey,
Uh,
Vivi.
hey, BB. Really, I want to go back. Carla was like, "What?" I think she was reacting to the cosmic surgery for the young kids,
Yeah, yeah,
and how
yeah.
this.
I mean, it can definitely, have an effect on the mental health,
It,
of the young generation.
the young
But
generation,
at the
yeah,
same time, it can be good because it's, a lot of people make friends online. There's this whole community online where people who are maybe more introverted or shy, they can do things online now, and it's a lot easier for them to, I guess, to interact or to make friends or to form support groups, things like that. So again, it's the different components of it.
yeah. But then that's
Hey,
where
Roy boy.
what's up, Dark Warrior? Yeah, but then that's where the accountability of the parents come into play in that case.
That too, yeah.
Like one of the I forget his name, but one of the gentlemen that spoke in the documentary talked about like time budgeting with with teenagers. Like
Hmm.
no, you got to do your homework first, and like when you do go on,
Right.
you're only on for a certain amount of
What's up,
time.
Crystal?
But even more than that, talking about being mindful and being grounded, if the teenagers are taught how to be, it comes with self-esteem, right? If they're taught to like love themselves and be whole and grounded and get all their needs met from their parents,
Right.
then they won't be so prone, to be bullied or to feel as if they have to like modify their identity in order to, be accepted.
Yeah, it starts from the inside out, right, with anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because, teenagers especially are going to compare themselves to other people. It's a very hard age bracket, I mean, I remember when I was younger, the insecurities that pop up and you're trying to fit in and you're trying to, be like this person and that person, and you see people on TV and you're always trying to fit into some sort of label or box. So it is working from the inside out, and it is, limiting the amount of screen time too, where you're not just, uh, I don't know, constantly being bombarded by ads and things that will make you compare yourself more to other people too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, Karen.
Good morning, everybody.
What's up,
Karen.
guys? Good morning.
It's a all-star team in the house. Um, I want to
Yeah.
read one quote that just really just got under my skin, and it was by Edward Torft. I'm not sure who he is, but the quote was,
Mhm.
"There are only two industries that call their customers users: illegal drugs and software." Holy moly!
Fascinating. Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. And the two are related because we can become addicted to both,
Yeah. So
right?
easily.
Yeah.
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 You
Yeah.
know, And it isn't like the common, like, story with the drug dealer. They give you a free sample and then you're hooked. And like social media
Right.
is free. You know what I mean? So it's just like,
Right. Right.
uh,
Well, and the interesting part for anybody, I don't know how many people on here have seen The Social Dilemma, but that's basically what we're focusing our conversation around this documentary that's on Netflix right now, because I think it's a huge issue. You know, it's not saying social media is good or bad, but it's learning how to find the balance with it. And these platforms that are free, when they mention in the documentary that they're not actually free. We are the
weird.
product. We
Yeah.
are the
Yeah.
we are paying for it because what they're doing, they're
Yeah.
taking our information and targeting us for ads or even for political reasons and things like that. And I know you mentioned the other documentary, Mystery, the hack, the Great
The great
Hack.
hack. Yeah.
Or
The great
yeah,
hack.
you know what? I think I did see that like a while ago though, and I
Yeah. It
just
was a
remember
while
it was
ago.
about the Cambridge Analytica
Yeah.
stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did see that a while ago.
Yeah.
So that was interesting too, how the influence on the political like decisions going on or forming actually social media using the platform to form these groups that were anti-voter
Yeah.
groups, right?
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
remember that part?
Yep.
And it created huge influence on the outcome
It
of
sure did.
political,
Yeah.
so that is really interesting how much we're affected or how much the psychology behind it, influencing actually not only what you do online but what you do outside, in the world, your decisions, the behaviors
Yeah.
that you're
Yeah.
taking. So again, it comes to awareness and understanding just the whole thing,
Hmm.
when you're being targeted,
Hmm.
limiting maybe certain times, being grounded when you go on. My
Yeah.
thing is never go on social media if you're feeling angry, if you're feeling really depressed, if you're
Yeah.
feeling in a very fatigued, low
Yeah.
state.
Hmm.
One of my strategies is go on when you're feeling good, or limit the
Yeah.
amount, set certain times. The best thing that I ever did was shift my routine, because first thing in the morning, first thing I would do, turn on my phone,
Yeah.
and
Right.
I would read in the morning, but I'd have my book in my hand, and then I'd have the phone, and I would pick up
Hmm.
the phone, and I'd be on the phone instead of reading. So
Yeah.
now that
And then
first
two
hour that
hours
I get
later,
up,
you realize.
that first hour that I get up, my phone does not go on. That
Yeah.
is Jen time. That is my time to do
Yeah.
whatever I need to do.
Yeah.
And that's been a huge shifter. So it's little things. It's not like you can never go on social media. It's not that you can't check your emails and stuff. Um, Sorry, there's like landscapers, so you're gonna hear blowers, like
I can hear
leaf blowers in the background. Okay, good.
it.
Um, they're always here. So yeah, I mean it's little changes, little things you can do. Maybe turn off the notifications for things that
Yeah.
you don't really need to
Hmm.
limit, how much that compulsion. Another thing, out of sight, out of mind. So in the car, don't put it right there where
Yeah.
you're going to feel the compulsion. So if you know that you always feel that urge to check,
Yeah.
put the phone in the other room, put it,
Yeah.
out of sight for a while. And that's a little thing that you can do,
Hmm.
but it's a big result, I
Yeah.
find. So there's so many little strategies you can use to, help find that balance
Yeah, yeah,
with it.
absolutely. It's funny, like I wrote a list of like solutions, and like I've crossed off like
Yeah.
four so far that you just mentioned.
I told you. I keep going. I'll just
Yeah.
keep going. I'll let you talk now.
No, 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 no,
I'll let
no.
you
It's
talk a
okay.
little.
No, we're the same brain, same brain,
We're
same
in
brain.
sync, so I
Yeah, we're
just got them
synced.
covered for you.
Yeah.
We didn't even discuss it yet.
But what I
Karen
think
asked,
that.
"What's?"
Oh,
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 go
go ahead.
ahead.
No, 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 go ahead.
No, I said Karen just asked, "What's the future of social media from our point of view?" What do you think, Misty?
It's up to us. It's up to us. That's why we're having
Yeah,
this
yeah,
conversation. I mean, us light workers, like we're here to shed light on, the imbalance in the world, to offer tools. And then it comes down to accountability. It's up to us at the end of the day to decide, you know, how do we want to change the timeline? We could continue to like go on this autopilot, zombie timeline, or we can start being more proactive and creating boundaries, being more, self-disciplined with how we manage our time. So, yeah,
Absolutely.
Karen,
Yeah.
it's
I
up to
mean,
you, Dog. Oh, go ahead, honey.
I I think it's such a powerful tool that we can utilize to spread the light and to move us back into what social media started as, this positive environment, right? For networking with people, for spreading good things, not hate, right?
Yeah.
For connecting people, not disengaging people, right? So it's so important, and I think we can get back there. It's just a matter of the collective kind of educating and the awareness and just more understanding of what's going on and not just always being in this kind of zombie reactive mode and not engaging with things like I don't want to say never engage in like political posts and things like that, but never engaging in certain things that you know the outcome is going to be more negative, right? You kind of
Or,
have an understanding of,
sorry to cut you off, but also not reacting from a
yeah,
place of emotion, I think is really important.
yes, yes. And because realize the way the algorithm works is something like Facebook, for example, the more you are commenting on toxic things, the more that is going to
Yeah.
show up in your news feed.
Yeah.
So if you're
Hmm.
surrounding yourself with love and light and people who are putting out good things and supportive things and positive things instead of always, hateful things,
Hmm.
then that's going to show up more in your news feed. Hopefully,
Yeah.
you would hope that it does. But yeah, so the more you engage, not only do you just go into this reactive mode, and it just like your vibration just go boop, straight down the toilet. But yeah, you kind of detox from those people at the same time because you're not going to see it as often. So that's a good strategy too, is just go through a friends detox. So
Yeah. Hmm.
there's no hard feelings. I mean, if they're posting crap and you don't have to keep them on your friends list. Don't feel bad about it.
Jen, I want to pause for a second because I want to go back
Sure.
in just to stress the point that you made earlier. Another quote from the documentary. So, from the Great Hack, I forget her name, but she was one of the main characters or persons they focused on. She had said that data is worth more than gold, right? And to take that
Yep.
even further within the social dilemma. So, the question is, what do they do with that data? So when they take that data, like they're collecting all the things, like all the when you click, the things that you like, the things that you purchase, then they're able to take that and predict your movement. They like, and you figured even with the Google Maps,
Yeah,
they
it's
know where you're
crazy.
going. They know what route you're
Yeah,
going to be
it's
taking.
crazy. Yeah.
So what they're doing is by us being the product, it's not just us as a whole entity that's a product. It's how to change what they're doing is changing our behavior and our perceptions. Our behavior and our perceptions is the data, or that's the product. And if you think about it that way, that's freaking dangerous. It just is like even more of a reason why
Yep.
it all comes down to being balanced, being grounded, meditating, eating really good food, drinking plenty of water. Like all those things really count because when you're grounded, like someone mentioned earlier, discernment, then we're able to know when we're being manipulated. Then we're making our own choices and not making choices based on some engineer entity that's trying to manipulate our choices.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Who's looking at us as like an avatar? Like they had the example of like the avatar, right? So it's like a robot, you're
Right. Yeah,
manipulating it
yeah.
to do
Right.
certain movements and stuff. So yeah, it's about staying grounded and being present. That's so important instead of so many times we're just running on autopilot, right? Running on autopilot. I just watched your video actually this morning about the Joe Dispenza one, about how we do the same things, we do the same movements all the time, right? We're in this habit, totally unaware of it, right? I mean, or, I'm totally unaware of all the steps I took to probably walk into this room and all the
Right.
little tiny details to,
Yeah.
to do it, right?
Mhm.
So if you practice being aware of the little steps or just, kind of snap yourself back into place, pinch yourself, slap yourself,
Yeah.
whatever you need
Right.
to do,
Yeah.
catch yourself before you fall asleep, call it
Yeah.
fall asleep.
Yeah.
Um, one of my favorite authors, Vadim Zeland, who wrote Reality Transurfing, he calls it people who are basically asleep, throughout the day. So it's about staying in your, what he calls the center screen, which is
Mhm.
basically you're grounded, you're
Mhm.
present.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what's going on, you know
yeah,
what you're doing. You're not just falling asleep at the wheel of your life and going through the motions, because
yeah.
when you're asleep at the wheel of your life, you're easier to manipulate. Look at
Absolutely,
TV ads, right? The
absolutely.
the subliminal messaging in TV ads and all that kind of thing. If you're watching, like, I don't know, like the Super Bowl or something, there's so many little things, that they're flashing at you that your
Yeah,
brain doesn't
subliminal
even not even
messages.
aware of, right?
Yeah,
From the
cues,
colors to the sounds to
everything.
the smallest things,
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
I mean, why do you think, fast food restaurants are bright colors, right? It's all
Bread and
psychological.
yeah, it's all
Yes, it's
influencing shopping.
red and yellow. It's all
Yeah,
psychological. They don't want you to stay. They want you to, get your food and move on, right?
right. Yeah,
So yeah, so it's about becoming aware of those little things, educating yourself, doing a little research. It doesn't have to be much, but becoming interested in it because it's affecting your behavior and the decisions you're making in your own life, and the decisions not only in your own life, but a collective unit. I mean, when you can influence an entire political,
oh my God. Yeah.
realm, or protesting and these things that are happening out in the real world that are affecting people's lives,
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
is that is huge. It
Yeah,
can be scary, but you can also shift it to a place where it can be not scary, where it
yeah.
can be used for good,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So it's so important. Yeah.
It's now riled
I got
up.
riled up on this stuff. What
Let's
else?
check in.
What else you got in your What else you got in your list? Do we have any questions? I'm not even.
Let's see.
I'm
What's
so in
up,
the moment.
Mia?
I'm not even looking at your
No, you're
guys'
good. No,
things
this is
here.
such a good one.
Yeah.
Let's see. Meditation is the ultimate way to
Meditation.
cut through the BS. Yes, and know which decisions are yours. Yeah.
Totally.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah.
Discernment. Yeah. Meditation is gold. Yeah, Karen, get on this documentary. Yeah, and also the Great Dilemma, and I'm sorry, the Social Dilemma and the Great Hack, I think are really two great documentaries to check out regarding this topic. Um,
And
so what
there's stuff that Reverend Jen, because I'm so religious, right? I like that though. It's a nice ring to
And also, Roy earlier had a coined gin o'clock. I like that.
it. Sweet. I'm trying to think, what else do I have on my list here?
Well, I had some
Cover.
solutions here to offer.
Yeah,
Um, are we ready for that?
go for it.
Yeah. Okay. So Jen had mentioned that.
I think I spewed out a few myself. Like,
No, no. I
so
mean, there's so many.
yeah,
Well, first
yeah.
I want to, as far as those of us who work online, I got this technique from the lovely Arvel from a time management course that he taught. And one of the things I thought was gold was when we are working online, oftentimes when we see someone like message that, like we get a message from from a DM from IG or from Facebook or for email, we're so quick to want to stop what we're doing and check it. So we become reactive, right?
Hmm.
So part of time management is being very disciplined in saying if you're working on a project, you finish that project first, or maybe you even time out during the day when you're going to check your your messages on social media. So once I started implementing that, it was a game changer, and it made me realize I'm how reactive I am. Like, oh, I got a message, I
Yeah.
should
Oh
go check
yeah.
that. Then before you know it, you're like, okay, I'm gonna scroll, and then before you know it, 45
Right.
minutes, an hour's gone by, and I haven't even finished that project. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yeah,
yes,
that's where the out of sight, out of mind comes in handy sometimes, because I actually, that is helpful, because I was using that strategy too, actually planning out, times during the day to go on social media.
mm-hmm.
But it's so easy to snap back. So easy to
Yeah,
snap back
yeah,
because,
yeah,
right? It's hard. It's hard. So I have to get back there myself, I'll be honest. It's difficult because, I find myself, yeah, in a reactive mode where I just want to, it doesn't have to respond to it, but I want to look at my phone. I want to
yeah,
see what it is.
yeah, yeah,
I'm curious. I'm like,
yeah.
it,
Because
it's
we're addicted. Because you know
right.
what?
So we have to
Let's
train ourselves.
we have to train ourselves, and let's talk about the biochemical aspect of it. It all comes down to dopamine. Because every time we
Yeah.
get those clicks, we see somebody likes, we got a message,
Feels good.
dopamine, yeah. And so that's
Yep.
what it is. It
Dopamine hit.
releases.
It's that drug. Yeah. Feels
It
good.
is, yeah, it
Feels
does,
good. Yeah.
So it's
Shout out
like,
to the sun. Hell yeah.
yeah, the sun. Woo-hoo.
That's
Yeah.
a great example of a positive platform that is not manipulation.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
it's like a kale salad versus a cheeseburger.
If you guys don't know what the Sun is, it's a spiritually united network. It's a spiritual platform that actually a few of us have created for spiritual entrepreneurs who are looking to go online with their business and find that balance within
Yeah.
themselves to because things like Instagram, Facebook, all these platforms are wonderful, but when you could have some one place where it kind of releases all the toxicity that it's evolved into, and also include educational components and courses and one-on-one coaching and anything you need in one platform with like-minded individuals, then
And self-development
that's
as
what
well.
the sun represents.
Yeah.
So anybody who doesn't know, you could check out Crystal. Put the what is it? Put it. We could put in the description. Enter the
Yeah.
sun.online for anybody who's
Into the sun,
curious.
yeah.
Yep.
Dot point. Yeah.
Anybody spiritual entrepreneur, anybody who's watching this who's curious. Yeah.
Come join us.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
for sure.
It is a good place.
Yes, we have so
Yep.
many people actually quitting their jobs now to live a life of purpose. Yes. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's a beautiful perspective to be reminded of because, yes, on one hand, if you listen to certain media outlets, the world is burning apart, like the world is divided. But
Yes.
this is also a perfect opportunity for us to find our purpose, because now that the matrix has been kind of shooken up a little bit, more people are waking up and realizing, wait a minute, that 9 to 5 hasn't been serving me. That 9 to 5 was causing me to like have heart disease and depression and anxiety. I want to live a life that's more fulfilling. So people are taking chances.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Been there, 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Like, nope. I think a lot of us get the call too. We get the call to do something different. And it's, online's not only appealing because it's flexible and you don't have the constraints of sitting at a desk all day and staring at a computer screen or having, big boss telling you what to do all the time. But it allows you to be in alignment with yourself, like who you really are,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of people, I think that's why there is so much segregation and toxicity out there, especially something like social media, because a lot of people are unhappy. People
Yeah.
are depressed. People are stressed. People are
Yeah.
anxious all the time. Why? A lot of it is they're not aligned to who they truly are, their purpose in life, or they don't know what their purpose is, or they just feel stuck.
Yeah.
They feel
Yeah.
stuck. So,
Yeah.
that's it's so huge. I've been there too. I was, in a job where I just felt totally unhappy, totally stuck. And that's when I decided to just make a decision. Went to acupuncture school for 3 years, and you know, and it all started there on this process. And now I'm here talking to you, beautiful people. And let me see. Somebody had Erica. What is the link for the sun? Okay, Crystal covered. Enter the sun.online. Thank you, Crystal. I was gonna go back and address that, but she already did. Awesome. But yeah, so that's my 2 cents on it.
I think that's a beautiful 2 cents. And also, I
Yeah,
want to stress that, following your purpose is also not easy, which is why a lot of people, kind of shy away
yeah,
from it because it takes immense trust. It takes immense
right.
self-discipline, but it is possible. And part of what makes it possible is surrounding yourself with a community who are also in that same vibration, so that you can hold each other
Yes,
accountable. You can and that's why, again, something like the sun has been so, at least I know for me, has been so powerful because it's like, I know that my dreams can come true because I have the support. And I'm amongst
yeah,
other people who are also following their purpose as well. So when I have days where I'm like, shoot, I'm tired, or, things are not working out the way that I want it, then the person right next to me, and oftentimes the synchronicities are like amazing. The thing that I'm feeling stuck in, someone else would maybe express that same frustration and might have found a solution to get through it.
exactly.
you know?
Exactly. So important, and it can make a huge difference in what direction you go in next, you know? Because a lot of times, you know, we feel alone. We feel alone with ourselves, especially if you're starting out in a new venture, something like a new business for yourself, or you're shifting careers, or you're trying to find your purpose. You don't know what your purpose is. It can be a very scary, dark place for a lot of people. And to have that support, or to have somebody be like, you know, I've gone through that too, you know, is huge, is
Mm-hmm.
huge, rather than just feeling isolated and that you need to do it all on your own, because that can feel so overwhelming. You know, a lot of
Yeah,
people, it causes them to give up and go
yeah,
back to old patterns where they're unhappy just because it's easier, or um, yeah, I mean, it's easier, it's kind of comfortable, but they're just not happy. They're not living true to themselves because they don't know how to do it. They don't know how to do it. So when you have that support system around you, it's huge.
well, I feel like
Yeah.
also, by the way, good morning, Oshun. Good morning, sis.
Morning,
Um,
everybody. Glad you guys have joined.
yeah, this is a lot of fun. Much
This
love
is
to
a
you
hot
all.
topic today, social media. Yeah,
Well, because we're all affected by it, you know, and I feel like it's kind of the
we
elephant
are.
in the room, you know, like there's little conversations here and there, but you know, I would like, and I'm hoping, and I know there's been other documentaries in the past relating to this, but I think just the timing of this documentary was just so potent because, especially since most of
Right,
us are working from home because of COVID, we're on more,
right.
you know, social media even more so. So, what I was going to say earlier about support is that I feel as if we've been in this individualistic paradigm for the last few decades, probably more, but now we're starting to enter into the collective paradigm. And that's how the ancient civilizations function. Everything was like tribal, right? Like you hear the term, it
Mm-hmm.
takes a tribe to raise a child. And I feel like that's where we're organically heading into because you're starting to see more people starting to collaborate, you know, or starting to
Yeah,
come up with these platforms, like the Sun again, because it really, we can't do it on our own. We can't. And even with the whole
right.
great awakening, I'm finding I have met so many people from social media, from Instagram alone, since June, because of this whole great awakening from all over the world. We're all having the same conversations, we're all asking the same
Mm-hmm.
questions, we're all feeling the
Yeah,
same thing inside, so this is just such a beautiful time to be alive right now, despite what mainstream media is feeding.
right, right. Yeah, I mean, there is definitely a shift going on. And, you know, one of the best things I did was meet you guys, you know. I've never met you in person, but we've used these platforms to connect with each other. And you're in California, I'm in New Jersey, you know, we have friends in all over the world.
Yeah,
And it is all about, we're on the same mission, we're on the same path. So it's about this collective unit, because we realize that we're stronger together. We're
yeah, we
stronger
are.
together. It's the only way to overcome, I guess, you know, the view that the world is falling apart, because it's not falling apart. But it's about waking up to the awareness that, you know, we need to start shifting ourselves from the inside out, and not just reacting to things, and not just be asleep at the wheel of our life. I'll say it again. Um, because at the end of the day, you know, it's all about everybody. It's not just about us, it's about everybody, right? We're all connected.
We're all connected,
Yeah,
sweetie.
yeah.
Mm.
Thank you,
Well,
Crystal.
yeah.
This is my power quote.
Well, let's talk about some more solutions of how to
Sure.
balance out our use of social media, because to say just quick social media is unrealistic, right? I mean, it's just intertwined within our lives. So,
Yeah.
some solutions that we can offer, as Jen mentioned earlier about not checking it first thing in the morning when you wake up. For me personally, I don't check my social media until after I do my morning practice. So gin time, have you time first. Even if it's just for the
Yes.
first 15 minutes, 20 minutes of your morning. Try to get into that topic or in that habit, because when you first wake up in the morning, you're the most impressionable. You're just coming out of the dream world.
Right.
So whatever you take on, those first set of information or data that you're taking on, it really is going to affect the rest of your day, you know? So, you know, because oftentimes you might go on social media, you might read a news clip that might disturb you, or you see somebody living their best life that might make you a little envious or jealous, and your energy's already
Right.
off. So,
Yeah,
yes.
it scatters you. It scatters you. It used to scatter me so much. And now it's like, oh, I have the morning to just like chill,
Yeah.
have my coffee, I'll meditate, I'll read, I'll write, whatever, whatever. But it's just like you're grounded. Things are quiet. You're not being bombarded right away, where you're
Yes.
not like this right away from
Right.
the moment you wake up, because
Right.
then people who allow themselves like 5 minutes in the morning to get ready for work and go out the door, when they get to work, they're in this scattered mode, right? Your energy is all over the place, it's all up here. So by having that time to just
Ground. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, exactly,
And then you're not as
exactly.
reactive as well, right?
You're not reactive to everything. Yeah. And you have a better day. You have a
You do.
better day. You're happier because of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Even for the person who cuts you off on the freeway, you're not, instead of giving them the finger, you
Right.
may
You're not
just
so
say
reactive to
namaste.
just get angry. Exactly. You're just like, oh man, I had good coffee this
Yeah.
morning, and you're just, yeah. So,
He must be in a rush. Let him go.
yeah. Yeah. It brings you back into that present. You're more aware of what you're doing.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Um, and then at night, what I suggest is not before, not like try to get yourself off of social media an hour before bed. Because
hmm
also it's been proven that, and some of you guys may know this, but Crystal.
We try.
Well, you know, a teacher once said to me, as far as like people who cut you off in traffic, he was like, look, he goes, either that person is, you know, a jerk, or they could have an emergency, you know? So I always think of it that way. Just
Exactly.
assume if they cut me
hmm
off, you know, you know, there's a reason why. But as far as at nighttime, some of you may or may not know this, but whenever we're looking at our social, our technical devices like our laptops and iPads, the blue light, it triggers the brain to make it think as if it's noon. So that's why there's like a
hmm
melatonin deficiency. So it's always good to like,
Delays it. Yeah.
yeah. So it's always good to get off at least an hour before you go to bed. Because if you notice, like if you're like staring at the screen and then you immediately try to go to sleep, it takes a while, right? Before you're able to get into
Yeah.
that beta state.
Yeah, I mean, I have a pair of blue light blockers, like blue light blocking glasses that block
Mhm.
out the blue light, which is helpful if you need to be on at night or in front of the TV at night. But it's not just the blue light that's affecting you, delaying your melatonin production, but it's also that reactive mode, right? It's going to make you
Right.
anxious.
Yeah.
You should never go to bed anxious, stressed, angry, you know. Because, well, A, you're not going to be able to fall asleep very well, and B, it's not, it's just sleep is important. It's
Yeah.
important to have that time to unwind, you know, make it, me time, Misty time, Jen time, you know, at least a half hour before bed.
I thank you for that, Jen. I didn't make that connection too about the reactive aspect of it. It's
hmm
true. Yeah. Yeah, I guess it keeps you in like fight or flight to a certain degree,
hmm
right?
Yeah, a lot of people are constant in like a constant state of fight or flight, constantly stressed. I mean, fight or flight's supposed to be a very temporary
Right.
thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
A
Right.
burst, because we used to use it to run away from,
From bears.
lions and animals, yeah, from predators.
Yes.
But now people stay, and I think, being on our devices all the time, it keeps us in that constant state. And what that does, it over time, it depletes us, depletes our adrenals,
Yeah.
and it causes health issues later on for us,
Yeah.
big
Mhm.
time. Yeah.
I just want to give a quick shout out to
Crystal.
Serena Rose. Serena Rose, thanks for joining us. I want to give you a
Yeah,
little
thanks for
shout
joining. Crystal
out.
says she has her blue light blocker glasses on. Yeah. I would be wearing mine because I'm looking at a screen, but they're like yellow, and I don't know. They're not as stylish as
I actually have some embedded in my prescription.
Do you? Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do make ones that are clear. I have ones that are just like yellow. They're like $15 on Amazon, so you can get a pair for pretty relatively cheap. Thank you, Serena.
Love you
Thank
too.
you. I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, this is a vital conversation. Yeah, again, especially for us that work online, So, well, let's go through a few more solutions. I actually have a handful more.
Sure,
So
go
this
for it.
one's I know that I'm not the only one that used to do this, but taking your phone into the bathroom with you. I mean that was just a habit of mine. Like, oh, I'm gonna go use the restroom. So since I'm sitting there, I might as well go ahead and go online. So that
Yeah.
was one thing that I stopped doing. I don't know if you can
I
attest to
have
that.
sanitary issues, so I'm kind of like, eh.
Okay, all right. So next time if I see you in
But I
person, I ask
understand
you to
that.
put your what's
Especially
that?
especially men do
Women,
that, I feel
yeah.
like. Not to stereotype or anything, but you know what I mean. Might yeah. I won't say anymore. I was gonna say something else, but I won't.
And I think you spoke on this a little bit earlier, and I didn't. So this is something I don't practice necessarily because what's to the point. What I have written down is have a designated space in your house to use your phone or your technical devices. I mean, I have my
Mm.
office, and sometimes I'll bring it into the living room. I'm trying to absolutely not bring it into my bedroom. That's still a work in progress. But yeah, what are your thoughts about that, Jen?
Yeah, I mean, I like it. The other thing you could do if you're old school, if for anybody who does have like a desktop computer or laptop, if it just, go on social media only on like the computer and not your phone. Don't
Mm,
download the apps or anything like
mhm.
that. I mean, that's another thing I just thought of that you could do. It might be hard because again, you're breaking that phone addiction. But that's something too. If you're like, all right, I'm only gonna go on social media, like, but I have to go sit down at a computer to do it. You're not gonna be because the phone's so easy. Is everybody carries their phone and they're
Yeah,
constantly picking it up. It's so easy,
yeah.
so easy. So I mean, that's something you could do. But yeah, I like the idea of having a designated spot. Yeah, definitely.
And Carla, yes, sweetheart, I'll post these up. Um, I'll post it up when I post up this video for the replay. All right.
Yeah, sure,
And then Jen, you can just email me, send me yours. Okay, so
absolutely.
another
Yeah.
one that I have here is so minimizing the amount of platforms and apps. Like now there's
hmm
TikTok and there's all these apps. It's so
I just
overwhelming.
I just joined TikTok. I don't know why.
Well, yeah, well, I wanted to ask you, how's it working out for you? Because I thought
That's
about
kind
it.
of fun.
I
Yeah,
can't even imagine like
yeah.
just adding another platform to my
There's so many. Yeah.
yeah. So, but yeah, like minimizing your platforms, apps. I don't know. Again, for people who work online, that can be a bit tricky. But I don't know.
Or
What are
the
your thoughts on that?
or downloading the apps because I think more so in the apps. You could correct me if I'm wrong, but it can pick up like the microphone feature on the phone. So another thing is to kind of watch what you say,
Oh yeah,
even when you have your phone on. So I don't know if this is still a thing, but a way around it is to go in through like a browser instead of having the actual app on your phone.
okay.
Because then the microphone feature might be turned off. You
I
guys
can't
can correct
remember.
me if I'm
Yeah.
wrong on that, but yeah, because like my Facebook, I don't like when I use it on my phone, I go through a browser. I don't use the app. I mean, I have it on my phone, but I don't use it really. So I don't know. That's just me.
Okay. All right. Um,
Yeah.
which okay. All right. That's interesting. I didn't really make that connection with the microphone.
Or go to your settings and make sure the microphone's turned off. I think that's another way to do it because your phone will pick up your voice commands. Did you ever like you were talking about something and then you see like an ad in
Yeah.
Facebook or something for something you're like I was just talking about that
Yeah.
or
I was just talking
but
about
it's weird
injecting
because
red meats.
sometimes I'm thinking something and I see an ad and I'm like, can they read my mind? Like
Yeah.
what's going on?
It's
So
pretty
kind of
wild.
freaky, but it's all yeah.
Yeah, and that would include Siri, right? So like, because I don't have Siri activated on my phone.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't
Yeah.
either. My yeah, my father like bought me something for Christmas like a couple of years ago. The not Siri, but like the little one. I forget what it's called. And I haven't hooked it up. I haven't hooked it up. I don't want it in my house. But I mean, so you just have to be aware, there's convenience. The convenience is great, but just be aware of how much, that it may be taking data from you at the same time. If you're cool with that, then that's fine, you know. But if you really have an issue with it, then just you know, stop and think, okay, is this, you know, open to leaving me vulnerable to exposing, you know, things about myself that I don't necessarily want,
Yeah.
you know, I don't really want to be targeted for in certain ways. So again, it comes down to that, just being aware. Yeah, Alexa,
Hmm.
Alexa, Siri,
Yeah.
whatever that their
Yeah.
names are right there. There's so many. Yep.
Yeah. They're probably
Bob.
twins. Yeah.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, my parents' house is like hooked up with the Alexa and Siri and all that stuff. I'm like, oh man.
so when you go to their
Freaks me
house,
out.
like you when you instead of talking, you write down on a pad what you want to say.
I don't know, the Alexa, tell me a joke or something
Yeah.
like that. You know, she's got some like fun twerks to her, but yeah, you know. I
Um,
don't need it personally. I'm old school, so I don't know. I don't feel like I need it.
yeah, that's how I feel the same way. I'm like, I've gotten by just fine doing what I'm doing.
Right.
So,
I could look out the window to see what the weather's doing and stuff like
right.
that. So I don't need
Yeah.
to ask Siri or Alexa. Yeah.
Let's see here. I think I have a few more. Yeah, we talked a little bit about time budgeting with social media. Like, maybe set just like, okay, so like for me, like when I'm working and when I need to go and check messages, then I'll have like an hour put aside to check messages and even to I'm not really big on scrolling. Like I'll scroll just to support other folks on Instagram and even Facebook a little
hmm
bit. But yeah, I feel like time management is really good to have some
Yeah,
self-discipline and so that you don't like, end up losing yourself hours on end scrolling.
absolutely. Yeah, I've stopped scrolling myself too. I rarely scroll, like a little bit, but I don't know. Like I think I've shifted where I just don't want to
Yeah.
as much as I used to, because I used to definitely be a scroller and scroll through like Facebook, things like that. But yeah, just the mindless scrolling. Be more strategic, especially if you're coming at it from a business angle.
Yeah.
So yeah, the time management, setting specific times, um, going on and being okay, you know, for strategy, you know, over just, I guess, I don't know what word I'm looking for, but going on more strategically, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah,
Mindfully.
mindfully,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Let's see here. And then a few more that I have here, like like oftentimes when we're hanging out with friends back in the day when we used to hang out with friends in person. Sometimes like if you're at a restaurant or at a bar and then like, or if it's you and another person, someone goes uses the restroom and you're sitting there alone, you grab your phone, right? You know what I mean? So like just like when you're in environments like that, just be more mindful, like maybe challenge yourself.
Yeah.
Like I've been doing like when I'm in line at the grocery store, I try to instead of getting on my phone, I'll just stop and just be mindful of my environment. Maybe I'll just spark up a conversation with someone that's in front of me or back of me. And I've
hmm
been noticing since I've been doing that, life is the present moment is so freaking interesting if you give it a chance. Like
Yeah,
you just
if you
never
gave it a
know, like
chance, yeah.
yeah, if you give it a chance. So that's something I just wanted to offer. Just in those spaces in between, either just be with silence or engage with people who are around you in the present as opposed to on
Yeah.
your
That's
device.
awesome you wrote that up. My very first YouTube video was on the addiction of being busy. And I mentioned that exact thing, being in a restaurant and your friend goes to uses the bathroom and you whip out your phone because you
Yeah.
don't know what to do with yourself.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
we live in a society where we need to be busy all the time. We need to be doing something
Yeah.
because we fear judgment, that
Yeah.
somebody's going to look at us because our friend went to use the bathroom and we're just sitting there
By
in
yourself.
silence, but
Yeah.
staring at the wall. What do I look at? Do I look at people eating? Do I look at, just the table like a weirdo? What do I do? Right?
Grab
So it's,
mirror.
yeah, totally in sync with that one. But yeah, we live in just this culture that we need to constantly be doing, but we don't. We have to appreciate silence sometimes and just calmness and stopping what we're doing. And that's a beautiful thing when we can appreciate that. All those little gaps in between, like you said,
Yeah.
appreciate those gaps,
Yeah.
right? We don't constantly need to be doing. I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's something
crazy.
else we're addicted to is excitement. And
Yeah,
maybe it goes back to that fight or
absolutely.
flight. We're just so used to being stimulated, that we just need
Mm-hmm.
stimulation. you know.
Yeah, thank you, Crystal. Yeah, stimulation, constantly. But that's, we're trained that way. We've trained our brain that way. So
Mhm.
how to break it? By doing new things, right? Like you said in your video, Joe Dispenza, by breaking the cycle, breaking the habit of being yourself,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it starts with taking little steps, but being consistent with it, being consistent with doing something new or being taking 5 minutes to just focus on your breathing before you go on social media. Or there's all these little strategies that can help in the long run, but just be consistent with it and do them on a daily basis, and add them into your, just add them into your day, into your routine, and that could be a huge shifter.
It's the little things.
Yeah,
The little
yeah,
things.
it's the little things that count. Yeah, don't let it be overwhelming.
Well, the
Yeah,
last thing I have on the list is and I think Jenna, you and I talked about this before, doing a digital detox. Whether
yeah,
that means, for one day you're not going to go on social media, or on, like for me, Saturdays are the day that I don't go on social media. Like I even like have a few posts
awesome,
programmed for Saturday, just to give that
nice.
one day away from, because we're
Yeah.
also something else we didn't really talk about, or the what's the word? The is it? I don't know if it's electromagnetic energy that we get from the devices. Like the
Hmm.
microwave wave. So even that's toxic on our energetic,
Right.
within our energetic body. So which is something
Absolutely.
to be mindful of.
Yeah, that's awesome that you take a whole day. It's getting
Yeah.
there. Do any of you guys like do digital detox? Let us know. I'm curious, like if anybody has been able to do that. It's like the addiction is so strong that it's hard to take a day
Yeah.
away from social
Yeah.
media. Years ago, it was not hard. Before the phones came out, it was easy. We were more present with
Well, they
ourselves.
weren't that interesting
Um,
either. The flip phone. The flip
the
phones weren't
flip
that
phone.
interesting. You had to
It's
like
funny you said that because yeah, years ago, I had a flip phone, and the game Snake. And this is on that video I did too. Where yeah, it was like the need to be busy. So I would take out my little Nokia flip phone, and I would be playing like Snake, or I didn't have internet access or anything, so I wasn't doing anything, but I felt the need to look like I was doing something
yeah.
out of fear of other people judging me for not doing something, which is just silly. It's just silly. But yeah, flip phone. I used to have a beeper. I don't know why.
Those.
To look cool.
I think yours is like a fluorescent baby blue.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I was born in the early '80s, so it's like yeah, phones didn't come out until I don't know when did they first come out? I don't
I
even
feel like it
know.
was like, well, the beeper thing was like late 90s.
Yeah, I was in high school, I think.
Yeah.
My brother and I had a beeper.
Beeper. Okay, Lady Lala.
Beeper,
Someone
yeah.
once said, "Work my business to my life, not work my life into my business." Yeah, work my business to my life.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mhm. And
that's
that's.
important. Yeah, that's important.
Does anybody else
Totally.
have any solutions that you do to keep your social media interactions balanced? 80s baby.
So when music was good.
That's when the music was good. That's when MTV played videos.
That's when MTV played music. It wasn't
Yeah.
just reality TV. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Headbangers Ball and all that fun
Mhm.
stuff.
Martha Quinn. Yeah. Good
Hmm.
times.
Good times. Definitely good times. Pre-phone era. 60s baby. Nice, eh? Nothing wrong with that.
Really good music
Nice.
back then too.
Yeah. Do you guys have any other comments or questions or anything before we leave you? We've been talking for a while here.
Yeah.
Almost an hour.
Almost an hour. All right. And we're
I
not
think so.
leaving you. We're always here. Just a party from this conversation.
Yes. Before Instagram kicks us off, right? Isn't there an hour window?
Is that how it works? Yeah, I don't know. I'm still new to these lives.
I am too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Jen,
Oh,
I
I
knew I
guess
knew that you would be the perfect person to chat about this. Love you too, Crystal
likewise.
Sun.
Likewise. Yes. Thank you guys for being on. It's really important conversation, really powerful conversation. Thank you, Misty. This was, I figured we'd be a little riled up, because I think it both kind of hits us here, hits us in the heart. And because it's an issue that like we all struggle with. So,
Yeah.
you
Hmm.
know, everybody, of course, to certain degrees, what have you. But yeah, I think it's a big shifter, it's a big thing to just have the awareness of just what's how it's evolved, I guess, over time,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
to just be more present with ourselves and grounded with ourselves, and using it for light instead of darkness.
Yes.
That's a huge thing. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, and with any,
yeah,
with any, imbalance that we're trying to address in our life, it always starts with the awareness. So, hopefully by having this conversation, other folks
Serena.
will become more aware. And once you become aware, then you break that bad habit in its tracks. You stop it in its tracks. So,
Yeah,
yeah, that's the name of the game. Let's just be more mindful with how we're engaging with these platforms, so that we don't become zombies and we can have our own thoughts and and
right.
have the
And
freedom of
and
our lives.
yeah, and live out our mission. Use it for good. Use it for good, not evil.
So Serena
Yeah,
Rose, the slow social dilemma. That's why we're here. We both saw the documentary, and that's
yeah.
the main inspiration for this talk. And if you haven't seen The Great Hack, Serena Rose, I highly recommend watching that one as well. It's a little older, but it's same vein. So yeah. Um, Are we complete? Do you have anything else, Jen?
Cool.
You always got something in there.
No, I think
Of yours.
I think I'm good. I think I'm good. Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, much love and light to you, sister. Thank you for having this
Thank you
conversation.
so much. This is awesome. Yeah,
All right, everybody.
absolutely. Thank you guys so much for joining. And this will be on a replay.
Yes, it
And
will.
yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Okay, everybody. Love and light to you. Have a
Cool.
wonderful day.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Take care.